So now I'm going to show you what I've got in my own personal emergency bag, and I just want to confirm that this is an emergency bag and not a survival pack. It's a 25 litre backpack by the North Face, and I have a Samsonite safe identity label on there, just so it makes it easier to recognise your own bag. Now I'm going to show you what I've crammed in here, and it's quite a lot. Now, of course, these are just what I would take. You will have your own ideas of things that you must include, but just try to remember it's only for a couple of days. It's the emergency items. Now, the first thing I have got on the top is some slow release Belvita biscuits, slow release carbohydrates, and that's because I have a couple of diabetics in my home, so I do have some extra sugar type things. I have a pack here with travel toiletries. Now, these are not necessarily things I would make, so I would ever use on a normal day, but they are just purely things I can get in travel size. There's floss, shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste, shower gel, deodorant, face wipes, and little toilet paper, emergency toilet paper. So that's just some travel size toiletries. I have my portable hard drive, which it takes up a lot of space. It's not 100% essential, but I have all my photos and videos on there, so to me that's important. I have some more emergency sugar, some quick release sugar for diabetics. Also good for anyone when you're in and need a little energy burst. Through the bag I've got several packs of pocket tissues. I use the little pocket packs instead of the big ones because they're very useful, and you can pack them into little corners of the bag. I have a very basic first aid kit with plasters, eye drops, saline eye drops, paracetamol, and some antiseptic spray wash for minor cuts and injuries. I have this is called, let me get the right way around, a Packmate travel roll. I've got a couple of t-shirts, a couple of pairs of underwear and some socks in there, and these are really good because you don't need a vacuum cleaner. You just roll them up and squeeze all the air out, and your clothes don't get really creased, so they're okay to wear without ironing. And all I've got is just t-shirts and underwear for 2 days. You might possibly want extra clothes. Essential medicines. If anyone on your house is on medicines, remember to take enough for a few days. Include inhalers, because obviously they're things that you may need in an emergency. Ladies might want some sanitary wear, and men might want razor blades and little shaving foams. We also have some antibacterial wipes and spray, so that's really useful. I have face flannel and a microfiber travel towel, which folds up really small but actually comes out quite big, and they are so good for travelling. And I have an emergency foil blanket. They're very cheap and they are just very useful in all sorts of situations, so I always have one of those in there. Some more tissues. And I have my favourite glucose tabs, the blueberry, which are good for a little quick burst of energy. Taste really yummy. I wish they came in big packs. I've also got a regatta little roll-up packet jacket, which is waterproof and windproof, so that's helpful. I have a mobile phone, which is pay-as-you-go. It's topped up, and I always keep it fully charged so that in an emergency I can make a phone call. It's useful to have your charger as well, and that's a spare phone that always stays in my bag. If you wear glasses, you may want a separate spare pair of glasses in there. A purse or a wallet with a spare bank card and cash, including some change. That's very important. In case you can't get to a cash point, you may want cash just to tide you in. What else have I got? I've got a little wallet here which has spare door keys to my house and also to my firebox, which I have at home, which protects my important documents from fire and water. I may not be able to pick them up in a hurry, and they're too big to carry around. If I was only leaving my home for a couple of days, I should probably leave them there and put my documents instead, scan them onto a Kingston SD card. If you do scan your documents onto one of these, make sure it's password protected. There is a way to do it. You can go online and find out how to do this quite easily, but it's a very good way of having your information in one place quickly that doesn't take up a lot of space. In fact, you know, you could have all your photos, and you could have a couple of these and have your photos and things on one and your documents on another. I have actually got some photocopies of some documents and a passport in there. And in here I have a picture to remind me. If you are like us, we have lots of sketchbooks and we all do lots of artwork. You may not be able to pick your sketchbooks up, and you definitely won't be able to pick them all up. So keep photographs of your favourite pieces of artwork and have them digital copies as well. But also I have photos of every member of my household in here. So if we were to get separated, I've got them for identification purposes, and it's a good idea if everybody has a picture of their family members, because it's far easier to say to someone, have you seen this person, and have a picture, because your phone battery may die, you may not have access to internet or anything. And for the same reason, I have my phone numbers written down in a little diary notebook. And in the front of here, I have a repeat prescription form for every member of my family. And that has your medical details and details of all your medicines. So if you need to, you can go to an emergency doctor or the hospital. And if you've forgotten your medicines, you can get some repeat ones. What else have I got? My luxury item is my MP3, which is also charged up. I always have a couple of these little non-batteries, sorry, the little wind-up torches. They're really handy. Have a couple of them, because you know, you don't have to worry about batteries. You just got to wind them up, and they help you if you're somewhere where the lights have gone out. Now, I do have my little fun guide here, Colin's Gem Disaster Survival. It has all sorts of things, including first aid, how to survive, all sorts of different things. Hope I never have to use it, but it's there just in case. Now, in my front pocket of my bag, I have, very important, all the diabetic gear. Always have, if you're diabetic, spare meters. Make sure you've got your lancets, your pen and everything, and your actual insulin pens for both types of insulin, your slow release and your quick release. Make sure you've got some needles in there, and have some insulin in there, but be aware that, you know, remember, it won't keep out of the fridge for very long, so you're going to have to replace it roughly every 28 days. So you can maybe rotate your pens, but always keep spare pens with insulin. And if you have time, you can always grab some fresh insulin from the fridge. And a couple of bottles of water, that's very important. Have some water. My other spare torch. And somewhere in here I have a few pens, so in case you need to make notes or whatever. So that is how I would fit everything in there. Now, you cannot fit your kit for your rats into a 25-litre bag if you also have medical conditions. So there's two ways around this. You can either get a bigger backpack, and this is one that I could possibly use. It's a 35-litre one by Trespass, and that's quite nice. Now, if I didn't have all the medical equipment, I say I could use my 25-litre one, but I would have to leave out all the diabetic stuff, my portable hard drive, and probably a few other little items. Whereas the 35-litre one I can fit everything into. So if you don't have a big backpack and you have a small one, or this is your alternative, is to get a tiny bag that you can wear with your small backpack. And in here I can actually put everything that I showed you the other day except for the bedding. In the front I've got the gloves and the bags. I've got my bag with my medicines and my syringe and my mixing bowl and teaspoons. And in the main part here, now this is just enough for 2 to 4 rats. I can't fit my kitchen roll in, but I do have the little tea towel, and I have a flannel instead of the kitchen roll. I've got a water bottle. Now, it is a good idea to have 2 small water bottles. Obviously, we've got another bag, so we've got plenty of spare water bottles. And check these before you use them. Make sure that you thoroughly dry them out before you pack them. You don't want to get to your destination and find out your bottle leaks. I've got the malt paste in here, 2 packets of rat chews, and just put those down a minute because my hands are getting a bit full. A smaller box of treats, because if you only have 2 to 4 rats, you don't need a huge box of treats. A bowl here, and then my mixed up rat food. And as I said before, with your food, change it every week if you mix your own food, or check the dates on the packets if you have a complete bag of food, or if you are decanting into a small container, then use it regularly. We would change this every week. And also check the dates on your water bottles and your snack food for yourself. So that is basically, I would get everything in. I say, if I didn't have all my medical stuff, I could get my safe bed paper into my backpack. So that would be that. And if you've only got 2 to 4 rats, you don't really need a spare bag of the Back to Nature. You can put a really good layer into your actual travel cage, which I'm going to talk about in our next video. So I hope that helps you, gives you a few ideas of how you can pack for emergencies. Think about what you would need, make a list, and just be prepared.